You're listening to the Orange Power Podcast, a product of Oklahoma State Athletics.
Postseason is here, and time to talk about the Big 12 tournament and beyond with OSU baseball coach Josh Holliday coming off a 2-out-of-3 series win at Baylor over the weekend to wrap up the regular season. And, here's the thing. How many times do you remember winning every road Big 12 series?
Yeah,
that's what you just pulled off. You won every Big 12 road series.
Yeah, our players have done a tremendous job this year of playing really, really well on the road. I think I checked the other day. I think we were 18-8 on the road, which is a remarkable record, probably the best we've ever had. And it's just I think it's a couple of things. One, we started the season out on the road and gained some real confidence by going to Vanderbilt and playing well on the road. So that's always a good thing to get off to a good start. We followed that up with the trip to Tempe where we went out and played Arizona State, a 2-game series, and kind of built on that confidence. And then I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that our kids started to learn how to play on the road, how to travel with one another, how to enjoy the time away from campus where you can kind of focus just on baseball. The distractions are less. Kids don't have class to attend, and some of the normal social day-to-day things that you face at home are not necessarily with you on the road, and I think it yields to a really good focus for this particular group. Then they kind of embraced it. They started looking forward to road trips and feeling like something they could kind of identify with, go on the road and play well on the road. So I think our road success has been really, really outstanding. And once again, this week in Waco, game one, obviously a crazy game. We get off and run out front, have a pretty big lead, only to have it kind of slip away with one bad inning. But the response in game two and game three were outstanding. And a number of kids stepped up in a big way. But I think the team's overall toughness was well on display all 3 games down in Waco.
And the thing is, just to follow up on that, you go back early in the season, BYU, Vanderbilt, dropped that first game of the series. And then, of course, with a lot on the line this weekend, given what had happened against Texas Tech, you lose in about as heartbreaking a fashion as you could, losing the big lead Thursday at Waco. But you come right back Friday, Saturday, and win. And on the road, again, something with Justin Campbell on the mound in the conference season, weren't dealing with that much because he was so good. But it's something you dealt with early in the year, and you did it again this weekend.
Yeah, that particular streak of games dating back to the tough loss at DBU where we had the lead in the 9th and lost on a walk-off homer, kind of leading into the Tech series where we fought hard and had really nothing to show for it. That was a tough stretch of baseball. And then when you get to that first game of Baylor, you want so badly to get back on the right side of the win column and to go out and get a lead and kind of feel like you're right on the brink of kind of turning that thing back around, have it slip away. That was a tough loss. That kind of rode right into kind of what the kids have been going through, which has been playing some really good baseball but not closing some things out. And so I thought the response in game 2 and 3 really told the story because some teams in some groups emotionally, over 10 or 12 days, whatever it was between wins, sometimes they don't handle that as well as this group did. So I appreciate their effort and their relentless pursuit of getting back to the win column. Also, some of the real highlights of some of the things we did in terms of play. We had great pitching effort from some guys this week, and I think really stood out. Victor's start coming off injury was fantastic. Mitchell Stone's effort in Game 3 was tremendous. Kel Davis's relief effort in Game 2 was outstanding, and a solid start from Justin once again. Add to that a lot of offense, and I think you could come away from that weekend with a lot of positives heading into the Big 12 tournament in Dallas.
Yeah, in fact, averaged more than 10 runs per game in the series. Let's go back to Medeiros. He had not pitched since the series finale at Texas, which was May the 1st, and yet he comes out and delivers, arguably one of the best starts he's had since his arrival here at Oklahoma State as a transfer from Miami. What was different, perhaps, in the opening game of the series against Baylor when he was on the mound as a starter?
I thought the ball was going exactly where he intended for it to go. So command of the ball was probably at its best. Add to that the fact that his pitches were just as crisp and powerful as they were prior to the injury, which is obviously very important. So his velocity was very good. It was back up into the mid-90s, and I think he touched a 98. So the high-end fastball was present. His curveball was sharp and breaking at a high rate of speed in the low 80s, so that's a very hard curveball. And then he had the slider going as well, which is a wicked pitch for him. It's a pitch that when it spins right, which it was, spins in the mid to upper 80s, and that's a very accelerating, hard breaking pitch for a hitter to try to handle. So I thought his command was good. The crispness and power of his pitches was certainly there. His comfort and confidence looked to be at a really, really good place. And he pitched with 75 pitches in 6 innings. He pitched with great efficiency.
Mitchell Stone, Game 3, you mentioned him earlier, guy with a lot of experience, but he delivers, arguably for him, maybe one of his best outings since he's been at Oklahoma State. What was different about his outing, and how significant was it to get such a great contribution, such a great performance from a left-hander, something we've talked a lot about?
Well, it was fantastic, and obviously we gave Trevor the start. He didn't handle the game well. Had to get him out of there after an inning. It just didn't quite look like he was in the right place for that particular challenge on that given day. And Mitchell trotted out of the bullpen, and 6 1/3 innings later, he'd done a masterful job. They were swinging the bats pretty good coming off I think their shortcoming at Baylor has not been their offensive opportunities, but rather some of their pitching depth due to injury. So it was an offensive team that we'd struggled to kind of put them to rest, and Mitchell did just that. He neutralized their lineup, put their left-hand hitters in a less aggressive position, and pitched us all the way into the 8th inning there. So it was an outstanding effort, one we definitely needed, and one that should give Mitch great confidence heading into the Big 12 tournament and regional seasons. As we all know, those tournaments can get long, and your starting pitching depth and your pitching depth in general usually has a key role in your success in these long tournaments. So it was great to see. I think that the highlight for Mitch was undoubtedly the quality strikes of a fastball, changeup, and breaking ball. All 3 pitches were being thrown, high-level strikes, tremendous movement on the changeup and the 2-seam fastball, and probably had his best slider that he's had all year.
Jake Thompson had 1 home run mid-March. He's hit 12 since in 2 months. Has anything changed with him? Obviously, the weather gets better. That's more conducive to home runs. But even going back to last year, we did not see power at the level that we've seen it from him the last month and a half, 2 months. What's been different? Anything?
Well, he's probably the most low-maintenance hitter on the unit. He has a feel for hitting. He has a maturity about his approach to hitting. He has a consistency about his outlook on his swing that is very positive. What Jake does better than probably anybody we have is he knows how to go up to the home plate and get the pitch he's looking for each at bat. And if he doesn't get the pitch he's looking for, he'll get to 2 strikes, and then he'll go ahead and put the ball in play. I think he's become an even smarter hitter. I think he's looking for pitches early in the count he can drive. When he's getting them, he's not missing them, and that's where you see the uptick in power. And then still the consistency of the swing. Even if it doesn't get the ideal pitch on strike 1 or strike 2, he has the skills to go to battle with 2 strikes and still put a baseball in play. He's just a tremendous hitter. He's one of the best hitters we've had here in the 10 years since I've been back.
When we come back, Super Regional time for Cowgirl softball, and Kenny Gajewski catches up with Casey Kendrick in a moment.
Hello, sweet babies. Welcome to your new home. You have changed our life, and you may even change the world. And because of you, 2021 is the best year ever. Mercy has helped moms deliver babies for nearly 200 years. To find out how to welcome your baby at Mercy, visit mercy.net/OSUmom.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, bikes for the whole family are just a click away. Buy online at academy.com with our free in-store assembly. Your next set of wheels, plus helmets, pads, and water bottles will be waiting for you at our in-store pickup counter. Get to the fun faster with our in-store pickup and free assembly at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Welcome back to the Orange Power Podcast. We're talking softball now, and why not? The Cowgirls are outstanding, and they are in a great run right now. And Coach Kenny G joins us. Coach, always a pleasure as always. Our final show of the season.
Man.
And it is amazing, and yet you guys are very much right in the thick of things. This is when it matters, and this is when it's a lot of fun.
It is, but let's talk about our ratings first. How are they? Do you know how they are? Do you think we could keep this going?
Oh, well, listen, I think there is a clamoring for you to keep your show going. I do think that is accurate. But listen, sometimes leave them know when to leave.
Yeah.
Know when to leave.
That's
leave
right.
them wanting more.
No,
hey, right now, Cowgirl fans are wanting more. Super Regionals coming to Stillwater.
Yeah, it's a really cool time. This is what we've always hoped to build here, and to be in the middle of that is really cool. And third year in a row for a super now, and trying to chase OKC as well. It's been pretty cool. Just so happy for our fans, and the way they just continue to up the ante here. I looked out there, walked out on Saturday or Sunday for our game. Since we hit second, we're the visiting team. I walked out to the tailgate just to tell everyone thank you. And I think I was a little shocked at what was going on out there, and all in great ways. That new tailgate trailer, the tailgating, everything that was going on was something that I've dreamed about here, and it's cool to watch it come true. And now it's figuring out how do we continue it and sustain it and make it the best event in this town. Well,
and when you look at where you guys are right now, again, the bar is so set so high right now. I mean, it's an expectation. Now, listen, Sandy Fisher had that way back when. Rich went to a College World Series, but the consistency of where we are right now, it's been a while. So the new bar, the new standard, it feels a little new. And I don't mean any disrespect from anybody in the past, but it feels like there's a new expectation. You like that feeling? Because that's obviously that's what you strive for.
I'm always going to go back to my roots. And I got a really cool message from Coach Fisher after we won the regional on Sunday, and it just said, congrats, good luck in supers, and then it had a couple of cool words that was kind of cool. I was like, dang, this lady's cool. And then I responded back just like this. I said, I appreciate it. We're just trying to build on what you had already created. And that's how I feel. Like we didn't start this. We may have dusted it off. That's been a term I've used. We may have cleaned it off and done all that. But from day one, I've wanted our girls to embrace the history here. And we're just tacking on. That's all we want to do is just keep tacking on. And there was a pioneer here, and she was it. And she did it when it wasn't as popular and when it was harder and all that kind of stuff. She had the real job. I'm reaping a lot of benefits of her success, and our kids are as well. And that's why we celebrate the Pam Harpers and the Ann Dyers and the Michelle Smiths, and I could go on and on and on of those people that really got this thing going.
It's interesting. I've already talked about this once this week on radio, but but that expectation of what's real and what's not. Again, you and I both like to observe certain situations, right? I think I'm probably more observant than you are, but at least in certain things.
That was a shot, by the way. I felt it. I took it. You can bully me all you want. If that makes you feel good, I'll take it. All right.
Your team, obviously, though, you observe and understand better. But I was paying very close attention after you won the regional. What was the body language? What was the celebration? And I had my phone ready because I thought, it's a big deal. And it was a big deal, and there was joy and there was excitement, but it wasn't, hey, we've reached the pinnacle. It was just another cog in the wheel. Got another. I mean, I really felt that, and I think you did too.
I did too. You and I have talked about this just a little bit, but I was curious too. I was curious how we were going to celebrate when we beat OU. And I think I told you that was a championship, a championship that we haven't won under in our time. And the regional deal now, we've done that. It's not that it's not important to us. It is. Those girls were happy. There's some of them that their softball life just got extended another week, and that's all I care about. With those guys is just to keep extending this thing. So I thought our expectation was what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't a dog pile. It was barely even a jumping up and down. But we did I felt the rush out. I felt the young kids go through that. I got to watch them. I'm a little better in my 7th year than I was in my first year. I would have probably been running out too. Now I'm like, it's their moment. They earned it. And so I'm happy with where our team's at. I'm happy with their expectations for themselves. And I'm really happy the way they're playing right now. They understand what's important and they're making it happen.
Okay, so just to talk a little bit about philosophically, all right? So this is our last podcast of the year. And I thought in my head the question would be, some of the super seniors. I mean, they've been here from day one. You have been there and they have been. Their whole careers have known you and this program and where it's at and this elevation. But as I started to say, this will be the last time we talk about the Sydney Penningtons and the Chelsea Alexanders and some of those kids. And it kind of dawned on me, no. In 15 years, it may be you looking back going, you remember Sydney Pennington and how she helped us dust off that, as you referred to, Chelsea Alexander, Shy, in fact, those kids. There are some kids that have really put in a lot of hard, grinding, fun years, and it has paid off. And some of these kids only know one thing, and that's the College World Series every single year. It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty cool. I think about that. I can remember recruiting Sydney when I got here. It's the first kid I called. And I knew we needed to get this kid, and she was already committed here, but she was wavering and kind of had decommitted and kind of put herself back out there, but was going to give me a chance to at least talk. And so can remember recruiting her and telling her, I can't promise you how much we're going to win yet, but I can promise you that you'll be successful and that we will be successful and you will have a chance to rewrite history for you here. And I get what other schools have to offer. They have it going, but there's something special about getting something started. And you will be revered and talked about for a lot of years. And I'll be dang if she was like, this is where I'm coming. And and she's done that. And to watch that, Chelsea Alexander, a kid that I tried to tell, don't come here. You won't play. And all she's done is play and turned into one of the ultimate Cowgirls. She's the example of what it looks like and how it plays and competes and all that. So it's just really cool to have kids like that. And there's more of them, but have kids like that that are tasting the fruit. I want to get them there, and I want to get them in that last game to give them a shot.
Well, it's interesting, too, even when you think about a Chelsea Alexander and you go, a kid who probably didn't come in with the accolades and, had to fight to get her time. And then there were times when she got taken out of the lineup and then said, okay, you can take me out, but I'm putting myself back in there, and gave you no choice. Even the kids like a Kylie Naomi, who's a seasoned veteran, can look at her as a 1 year extra and removed and go, that is such a great way to approach your career, knowing I've got to. You say this all the time. Nothing is ever. You're owed nothing. You have to earn it. If you're Kylie Naomi, or if you're Avery Hobson, or anybody in between, wherever you all in that parameter, you have to earn it.
Yeah, I think that goes for me too. I think that, and I think if you have a quote-unquote head coach that does that as well, I think that makes it easier on everybody in the organization to go, it's for all of us.
Yeah.
And I need to be better at this too. Like, this is something that you and I have talked about, and I've talked publicly about. Like, I'm going to make some little subtle adjustments in the way we start each year, and it's I'm, like I said, I'm just getting better, and getting more experience as being a head coach, and so all of us have to earn it, all of us have to own it, all of us have to appreciate it, all of us have to sacrifice for it, and that may be the hardest one in this day and age. Learning and understanding what sacrifice means is probably as important as anything.
Speaking of sacrifice, I think you're 6-0 since the haircut.
Well,
you got rid of the
it was sloppy. Yeah. Just say it. I know it's what you want to say.
And you cleaned it up a little bit, and you guys are 6-0. Any coincidence? I think not.
Well, I just told our kids, I said, I'm sacrificing this hair. We're playing sloppy. My hair looks a little bit like that, so I'm going to go back to the short, clean cut, clean it up. And they kind of laughed. I was trying to kind of get them to laugh and joke around, and but I kind of felt like that too. felt like, hey, maybe you need to show that you're willing to do something drastic or sacrifice something. I know it's just hair, but when you're my age, hair doesn't grow as fast and it's not as thick.
Amen. So let's talk quickly about the regional. Obviously, Fordham, you're able to beat Nebraska and able to stay in the winners bracket and then avoid the unnecessary game with a very good North Texas team. That was a good regional. It was a good field, and you guys were able to navigate it, get through it unscathed, and get yourself ready for this Clemson team. Yeah,
I think it prepared us for what we're going to face this weekend. We face some good arms. We're going to face those this weekend as well. It should be a blast, and I thought our regional turned out to be very good. Some all champions. Fordham was a good foe, and we got to play them all. North Texas, I think we already talked about them, had a lot of respect for what they do and what they're building there. And then Nebraska, to play for one of the winningest coaches, or to play against one of the winningest coaches of all time. Her and I had a great discussion before the game had started, and we were talking about, I didn't know where she had played. And so I just went up to her and I said, Rhonda, where did you play? I'm embarrassed that I don't even know. And she goes, I played here at Nebraska. And I'm like, really? She goes, you see that number 1982 on that wall out there? I said, yeah. She goes, your 1982 team is who eliminated me in my senior year. I said, well, you see that lady right there behind home plate? She goes, yeah. I said, that's Pam Harper. She's the one who beat you. And they waved and kind of did that. It was really kind of cool. So just some really cool storylines. Some really good softball. If you're a fan of the game, it was really good, and it's going to be just like that this next weekend.
Before we talk more about Clemson and the weekend, let's talk a little bit about your team and from a perspective of the expectation and the confidence level right now. We talked about Morgan Day in the circle, and again, it's she just belongs. I mean, you sold it all year long. Listen, she's a one. She just hadn't had her chances. As we continue to go through postseason, certainly Big 12 championships, now the regional, no doubt the young lady belongs.
Yeah. It was, I think the most telling thing for her this weekend was she wasn't sharp, but she was good enough to win in a regional winners bracket game. So against a winner, we ran her out there, and she was really good. She gave up a home run late that people can look at and go, well, whatever. But, I mean, we're up a big amount. We're not toying around. We're going right at you. The girl that hit the home run, that was her 20th home run. So it wasn't like it was not earned. So you just start thinking about this. Not sharp wins the way I feel like was easily. I know you don't feel like that. You've told me that you didn't feel like that, but I did. And so it was just a really cool moment for her.
Clemson coming in here, obviously a very good team, not a program that's been around a long time, but a very solid program. They've done a great job. And, again, pack the house. That has been the emphasis. I've seen that in promotions and marketing. And that's something that's very tangible and something I know you hope to look up when you guys come out of the dugout and see a truly packed house.
Yeah, I just want to be at a point where every time our girls walk out of the dugout, our place goes crazy. I want to be a place that we celebrate everything, and we do that. But I want them to know that's the expectation that we have for you, like the expectation that you have for us. And I think that's fair. And I think people only know what they know. And we've taught a lot of softball here in our time here with the way we played, the little things that we've tried to get people to help us create. They've taken that and run with that. That is what I want. Proactive people, proactive fans. Like, what can we do? And what you can do is keep coming, show up early, stay late. We will celebrate you. We will shake your hands when the game's over. We'll sign autographs. We'll do all that stuff because it's what it's all about. It's what makes OSU different. And I know we hear that and we talk about that inside here, and it's kind of weird the way it's different, but you just have to be here. And when you're here and you experience it, you go, I get it. And the country is starting to really see from a softball perspective that this is a special place, and we have some fans that are as good as any in the country.
No doubt about it. Thursday night, 8:30. Friday at 8 o'clock, ESPN2. Both of those broadcasts is going to be a lot of fun. Coach, always enjoy it. Enjoyed it all season long. Best of luck this weekend.
Casey, it's always awesome to be here with you.
I appreciate that very much. Hey, the Cowgirls looking for their third Women's College World Series in a row. Alan Bratton joins us next. Cowboy golf has been in 74 of 75 championships ever. It's amazing. AB coming up after the break.
At OG&E, the energy we deliver is more than electrical. We energize the future by balancing our efforts to provide the lowest rates possible with our responsibility to protect the environment for future generations. That's why we've strengthened our power grid through new technologies, leading to a 40% reduction in CO2 emissions, which, when combined with our rates, makes us an industry leader. Because at OG&E, we do more than energize a power grid. At OG&E, we energize life.
There was a mess. I wiped up a mess.
Yeah, you... Where is the butt? Never mind, I found it!
Welcome back, football fans. We'll see you in the fridge.
Welcome back to the Orange Power Podcast. As promised, talking a little golf as Alan Bratton joins us now, head coach of the Cowboy golf team. Fresh off another another regional championship, I should say. And Coach, it's a pleasure to have you with us on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Casey. It's about time.
Listen, we saved the best for last, my friend. That's what we were waiting on. Hey, so a lot of things to talk about. But help me out here, all right? You guys have been to every single postseason and 74 out of 75 championships. I can look at a lot of things. I can look at, and goodness knows, our national championships in wrestling are phenomenal. You could look at national championships in certain sports in other places, and it's phenomenal. But that one's got to be one of the top, if not the top, record out there. It is truly amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to answer that, but except that I agree with you, and I've been a product of that for a long time as a player and a coach, so that's all I know. We've had 55, that's 74 championships we've been to. Mm-hmm. I think this is number 75, and we've had 55 top 5 finishes. So that's a stat that I always bring up with recruits when they, people want to question why to come to middle of the country, Stillwater, Oklahoma, to play golf, and it's a place that inspires winners, and that's not just in the golf program. Like we were just talking, across the board, it's exciting to see softball doing so well, baseball doing so well, women's tennis, the football teams come on over the years. Basketball's been strong for a long, long time. So I benefited from that as a student athlete. I've benefited as a coach to have those guys to pick their brain, to be able to talk to someone like John Smith and observe a program like our wrestling program. That separates us from others as coaches and as you recruit student athletes, and that's a really fun thing to show recruits when they come to town, to see the culture of the entire athletic department and university as a whole. There's a lot of winners around here, and I'm proud to be leading one of the winningest programs on campus. I
mean, it's truly amazing, and you guys just won, your 16th regional, had your 12th individual titleist, and again, I don't know. We are so used to that. I saw a tweet, actually, I think Kat Osterman put something out there, just because, and she was referring to Kelly Maxwell, Oklahoma State, and you were talking about the spring sports. Her point was, just because it happens so often, don't not appreciate the greatness. And I think that sometimes we just know you're going to be there. You're going to have somebody really close to the top. You guys are going to be close to the top. Man, they did it again. Then that's just what they do.
I fight that all the time, and I really don't do a very good job of that, to be honest. That's one thing. I've got a wonderful assistant coach in Donnie Dar. He reminds me all the time that we can't take that stuff for granted. We've got to celebrate. Yes, Oklahoma State golf's done this before, but these kids haven't. So that was one thing that we talked about at the regional. They took the stress off of us as coaches to advance. We took care of our business in the first round and then kind of cruised the next 2 rounds. But we want those kids to appreciate it. It is a big deal to win a regional, to go into the championship with momentum as the number 2 seed in the country. And again, I fight that because I've been a product of that. So I have to remind myself that we can't be that way because, first of all, it doesn't just happen. We've got to go do the work. We have to go and earn whatever we get next week in Arizona. You start over throughout the week. You know, you've got to play a solid 3 days to advance to the 4th day. Then you've got to make the top 8, and then we start all over again. And we have a lot of history of you know, some scars, I guess, from that, of starting over and not finishing the week the way that we wanted. But that's something we focus on with the kids. Celebrate those wins. They've earned it. They're the ones that went and did the work. Doesn't matter what's happened prior at Oklahoma State. This is a new experience for them, and we're fortunate. We've got kids with positive experiences, a lot of veterans on our team. So I'm really excited to see what we can do out there in the desert.
Yeah, you know, a lot of scars, but a lot of successful surgeries too, right? Over the years, I mean, you guys have hoisted that trophy a lot. You know, I was kind of surprised. Again, this is one of those things that does surprise you. Look back, and I saw that 2016, Christopher Ventura was the last one who won the regional. You know, with Javi and Wolf, I just assumed one of those guys had done it. And so again, those things are to be celebrated.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, the regional is actually the start of the national championship. You know, that would be the first couple of rounds of the NCAA basketball tournament, or because we go from 81 teams that are in the championship technically to 30 that advance then to the finals. So we're down to that final 30 now, and our goal will be to go in there and win the stroke play again. We've done that multiple times, and just build momentum as the week goes, so that we're as sharp as we can be when we start over into match play.
So I want to talk about what's to come and the format, but I want to go back to this week. Obviously, Eugenio was a finalist for the Hogan Award, and you have been on a bit of a junket, a little bit of a whirlwind right now, trying to keep up with the guys, because your group right now is extremely active.
Yeah, we've got a good group of kids. We should have, at a minimum, 3 more All-Americans this year. Eugenio will be a first-team All-American. Aman Gupta has a chance to be second team, for sure should be a third team. And then Brian Stark's got a chance to be third team, and he'll for sure be honorable mention. And this is the time of year that they start giving out some awards. So I just returned from Fort Worth, where Eugenio was a finalist, one of the 3 finalists for the Ben Hogan Award, which is one of the Player of the Year awards. It includes this college season, but then outside of college golf, anything that you play, amateur golf, professional golf, whatever you've played. And he ended up the runner-up in that. They gave it to a very deserving kid from Texas Tech, and it was kind of cool. We had 2 kids from our conference there, and all 3 players were from this region. Sam Bennett from Texas A&M, Ludwig Aberg from Texas Tech, who won, and then Eugenio. So I know he was disappointed he didn't win the award. We've talked about that. Those kind of things are subjective. It's someone's opinion. The real honor is just being up for that. And lots of excitement going on. We've got guys trying to qualify for the U.S. Open. We had 2 guys try yesterday that did not make it, but we still have Eugenio and Hazen Newman that have a chance to advance. So exciting time of year with regionals. We leave tomorrow for nationals, and like I say, we've got great momentum. All of our kids are playing well, so it should be a good week.
Palmer Cup representatives, Ben Hogan Award finalists, obviously region champ, headed to the championship again. Again, it is amazing just how much has happened, how much goes on, and those are so routine. Again, it's amazing. Ryan Cameron sends those out, and I go, well, there's another one. There's another one. You know, it's just so expected. But I want to go back. You know, you guys, the first tournament, I think this side of the calendar was in February. You guys were out in Hawaii. From there to now, I mean, a lot of great accomplishment, 4 championships along the way. Seemed like a mile and a half ago, or does it seem like just down the street that was all going on?
Yeah, we've played a ton this semester. It's gone by quick, and as we went into this semester, Eugenio was our leader and best player, and has had a wonderful had a wonderful year and a half here, but he hadn't won a tournament yet. He had quite a few runner-up finishes and top 5s, but he hadn't won a tournament. And as we sit here today, May, whatever it is, 22nd, now he has 3 wins. Wow. He won that first tournament in the spring, which really set the tone, and he had 3 wins, a runner-up and a third, I believe, all this semester. So it's really been cool to see him grow into a leader, and then the player that he is, and then our team across the board. Aman Gupta wasn't in the lineup after our first 3 events of the spring. He didn't play, and then now I just mentioned he has a chance to be a second-team All-American. Rasmus Neergaard Peterson, who's going to be our sub as we go into the national championship, he won a tournament and had multiple other very, very good finishes. So we talked some earlier in the year. We had a deep team. I didn't know what our best lineup was, but those guys have really risen to the top. Brian Stark's been solid all year. We've had good play from lots of guys. Rayhan Thomas had 3 top 6 finishes this spring and is not in our lineup at the championship. And then you have a guy like Hazen Newman that's been kind of sitting at 7, 8, 9 on our roster, and he went down to Jimmy Austin OU's course and won the local U.S. Open qualifying there. So he's got a chance to earn his way into the U.S. Open. So really proud of the effort across the board. Every one of our guys has played a role in helping our team get to where they are, and just proud of their improvement. And this, the future looks good. We return all but one player for next year. So we're focused on now, but the future looks good too.
I want to talk about now, but I want to step back real quickly for a second. Brian Stark. We talk about Oklahoma State's program. Listen, this program and Karsten can really sway kids, but recruiting's still recruiting. They don't come to you and say, hey, necessarily. I mean, I know you still have to go on the recruiting trail. You still have to do what everybody else does. I mean, this young man's dad played quarterback at Stanford. Not just played at Stanford, played quarterback, and he still came here. Any good story in that recruiting process?
Well, there were a lot of people that didn't jump in there on him because they thought he would default to Stanford. He's a very, very good student, very hard worker, and was just kind of on the upward climb of his improvement. So I thought I saw a kid that was a good fit here when he and his family came to visit. It seemed like a perfect fit, and it has been. There's no one on our team that works harder than him, and this year he's really come into his own. He's finished in the top 10 quite a few times, and he just keeps getting better. And like I say, he's going to be an All-American for sure this year, either on a team or as an honorable mention. So couldn't be prouder of that, and that's always a nice feather in your cap. You don't beat Stanford on very many recruits.
Right.
Most kids that have a chance to go there go. So that's a nice feather in our cap. And credit to him that he chose Oklahoma State.
Well, let's go back to the '95 championship when you beat Stanford occasionally. Okay, so
what was that?
Tiger Woods. Wait. Speaking of that, real quickly. So again, kind of going down a few rabbit trails here, but Southern Woods showcased 5 of your guys, former guys over there. Once you're Cowboy, you're always Cowboy. Always awesome to see that opportunity. What does that do? Do you get Oklahoma on the national scale? Not just Oklahoma State, but the Oklahoma State Cowboys and the Orange. So what did that do? That reap any benefits from that championship being over there?
I think so. To have Oklahoma on the worldwide stage for golf is a big deal. The Golf Channel did a really nice feature on just golf in Oklahoma. It really is a golf state. When they have majors here, the crowds are some of the biggest that they ever have. They sell out quickly. Even this week we had a guy from Stillwater that was the tournament director. Brian Carnes was running the thing. They did a great job of promoting the University of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. And like I say, the Golf Channel did a feature on just Oklahoma golf in general, but obviously our golf program was a big part of that. So the world got to see that, and that's always a good thing. And the course really showed well. It was certainly dramatic. What a finish, to see a playoff like that. So great for the state, and that's obviously great for our university and certainly for the golf program.
So let's talk about Greyhawk going out there now in this format. You guys get seeded out of your regionals, right? And then there is help me out, reseeded once you get to the final day, but not when you get into match play.
Yeah, they you've got your national seed based on the body of work for the year, which includes the regional. So we'll go in as the number 2 seed. University of Oklahoma is number 1. So we'll play with them. Vanderbilt's number 3. So that'll be our pairing. We go in the afternoon the first day with those guys, and then we're first off in the afternoon and then first off in the morning the next day. Then they repair us based on score. And after 3 rounds, they cut it to 15 teams. Then you play one more round, so then that 72-hole total, you get your top 8. And then they reseed you based on that finish. So you get bracketed based on the 4-round total. I would prefer that it be based on you have to earn your way into the 8, but that you would maintain your seed that you had. So whoever the highest seed is that finished in the top 8 would go into the number 1 on the bracket. Again, there's a difference of opinion there, and the committee thinks differently. So you're seeded based off of the 4-round total. So whoever the low score is through that 72 holes, they'll be the 1 seed, where the 8th place team will be the 8 seed. So, last year it was a non-factor really, because the teams that the course identified were I think the worst anyone was ranked was 11th. So hopefully Greyhawk does its job like that. I think it will. They've done the same things. They sort of trick up the course for the week, firm up the greens, pinch in the fairways, grow the rough. And it should be a great test. Credit to the people at Arizona State. They did a great job hosting last year, and everybody at Greyhawk. So we're looking forward to the same kind of test, and hopefully we get a similar result in the stroke play. We had a chance to win last year the stroke play. We played a poor final round, so we ended up second and then lost in the semifinal. So we're hungry to get back at it and see what we can do.
Well, obviously, as the number 2 seed, 4 wins, regional championship, individual championship. I know the answer to this question, and it's obvious, and it happens every time you guys step out there and tee off. I mean, you guys know you have a chance, a legitimate chance to go win another championship.
Yeah, and that's really all you can ask for every single year. You'd like to think you have a team like that every year. I certainly felt that way this year with the people we had returning. We returned 5 of our 6, including the sub from last year's championship. And those 5 guys are actually what our lineup's going to be this year, and then adding Rasmus in as the sub. So we've got a guy as our reserve that has won a tournament, and his form's just fallen off a little bit here at the end, and Jonas has played very well. So confident in those 6. I could use any combination of those. But it's nice to see that experience pay off, and everyone should have good feelings. We had a lot of success out there last year, so no reason to think we can't build on that this year.
Can you change the lineup after the day one?
You can. You can change, 10 minutes prior. We could change before we start. I don't anticipate doing that.
Right.
But we'll just see how it goes. We're going to put our players in the best position to give Oklahoma State a chance to win. So that's the goal. That's the expectation. And, hopefully we get some people out there wearing orange supporting us.
Well, obviously, again, every time you guys take the course, that is an expectation and an opportunity, and certainly could happen. Fuss, hashtag golf school. Right?
Absolutely.
Hashtag golf school. I love that.
That's upset a lot of people. There's a lot of schools that don't like that very much, but I think we've earned it. We certainly have the track record to back it up. So if anybody wants to challenge that, just bring them on.
74, 75 championships. I think you guys have earned it. Coach, always a pleasure. Best of luck out there in Arizona.
Thanks, Casey.
All right. With that's going to put a wrap on the show, and actually for the season. And we may have some shows sprinkled out through the summer. Wait to see how that happens. But we want to say thanks to Josh Holliday. We want to say thanks to Kenny Gajewski, and, of course, Coach Alan Bratton, and for my partner, Dave Hunziker. I'm Casey Kendrick. We'll see you next time on the Orange Power Podcast.